The Virgin Islands Energy Office took students from the Math Environmental Science Academy to visit alternative energy sites on St. Croix on July 6th. The first stop was the St. Croix Reformed Church, which has installed a 10 kilowatt wind turbine. Carl Joseph not only explained the workings of that turbine, but outlined plans for future wind projects in the Virgin Islands.
I'll tell you exactly what we're looking at. Anyone know the Longford Estate? You know, on the South Shore?
Yeah.
Right? That is one of the prime, what we say prime areas where we have very, very good wind. We're also looking at the Bavoni landfill. And if anyone has been to Bavoni, they have a little peninsula back there. That's where the shooting range is. And above there is about the elevation over 200 feet.
After getting an up-close look at the wind turbine and a description of its various components, the students took a short walk over to the home of Paul Sharkoff. Paul explained to the students the road he took to get the solar panels on his roof. First he did energy efficiency, and then he did a solar water heater, and then finally the panel.
I consider to be energy conservation and energy efficiency. Solar water heating reduces my demand on the grid, so it's actually conserving the amount of energy that I'm drawing. It's not producing energy, it's conserving my demand for energy. And so the first thing that I did when I started looking at my WAPA bill several years ago was I looked at conservation and efficiency, because that's the easiest, that's the low-hanging fruit. That's the cheapest, easiest way to reduce your WAPA bill. And so the first thing I did was that I changed out an ancient, like a 15 or 20-year-old refrigerator. And when I did that, I saw my energy costs go down by about $60 a month, just by that single action. The second thing I did was buy a little unit that's called a kilowatt. It's a meter that I could plug into my sockets, and then plug in an appliance and determine how much energy each of those appliances was using. So that way I was able to tell how much each of my fans was using, how much my toaster oven was using, how much my coffee maker, my brewer, was using. And so I went through the whole house on everything that I could possibly plug in or plug out, and determine how much energy I was using on each of those items. I found that certain things, like the little LED light on my oven, was not using very much. So plugging in and out my oven every day didn't save me anything. So I said I'm not going to do that, because that's wear and tear on that electric component, and so I'm not going to waste. I'm not going to damage that. What I was shocked to find was that when I plugged in my my television set and the TV and the VHS and the CD and all that kind of stuff, even when the television was off and everything was down quiet, I was still using about 75% as much energy as I was using when the television was on. So when I leave, when we finish watching TV at night, we turn it off with one of the power strips that's available from the VI Energy Office to completely kill all this energy going into that whole system. So my entire entertainment system is quiet. It's done. There's no energy going in there at all. And then when we leave in the morning, after we watch the morning news, we pack up, we go to work, I kill the whole thing. So this house right now, except for the refrigerator, has got no energy use. Nothing going on right now in there. No lights on, no fans on. I leave the dog on the porch so he gets plenty of air without having to have a fan. And 5 minutes ago when you guys were approaching, I had one fan on in the house, and that was directly above me on the porch as I was doing work waiting for you guys. And so after that fan went off, and now it's quiet. So there's no electric draw at all on the house. So that was my first step in terms of energy conservation and efficiency. My next step was to work with these guys at VI Energy Office to get a solar water heater. And they had programs up until about a year ago, or about 6 months ago, where I would be able to buy that solar water heater on a loan agreement with WAPA. So that WAPA actually owns that solar water heater, and I'm leasing that from them at a cost of about $31, $32 per month, and that's on my water bill, my electric bill. So I know that every month for the next about another three and a half years, I'm going to be paying WAPA $30 a month. But it's extremely, I'm paying them, I think it's 1% interest, so I couldn't go to the bank and get 1% money, 1%. So so I'm happy to pay. When I installed that, again, my WAPA bill went down by about another $60 a month. So my WAPA bill had been in the $250 range, $300 range before, and now I've brought it down into about the $150 range, although remember I added in that $30 for the rental for the lease on the solar water heater, so the actual net value, net cost to me came only down about 30 bucks, even though I was saving about $60 in energy. So now I'm in about the $150 range in terms of my WAPA bill. And so that's when I installed 9 solar panels, and they generate about 2 kilowatts, so it's a 2 kilowatt system. And my calculation was that that would be enough energy to provide for my house, plus my electric vehicle, which is not running at the moment, and I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. And I'm just short of that. My WAPA bill right now is about 50 bucks, $40 to $50 a month.